Next in our series, we're going to cover back. All right, back is an amazing position as far as if you're in dominant back position. I've got basically a position where I can completely attack my opponent and he can very rarely start attacking me. It's not impossible that he could attack me, but for the most part, I'm in a complete dominant position. Okay, so when I'm on my partner's back, I have three forms of connection here. Okay, first I have my arms. All right, and it's important that I connect in the appropriate way. Most typically, we have a seat belt around my partner. So I have an arm going over the shoulder and an arm going under the shoulder. All right, the seat belt gives me chest-to-chest connection with my partner and prevents my partner from rotating. It gives me rotational control. All right, so when I'm here with this seat belt, when my partner starts to rotate left or right, he's locked into position. It's very difficult for him to start getting out. All right, in contrast, if I were to take both of my arms under, I still have rotational control, but I no longer have an attacking hand. So if you look at this seat belt, I have an arm that I can attack with and an arm that I stabilize with. If I go double under, I have two stabilizing arms. So if he tries to rotate, it's very difficult, okay? But again, I have no way to attack my partner. Again, if I go two over arms, now I have two attacking arms, which seems great, but in reality, now my partner can start spinning here and he can start escaping this position. So my first form of control is a good chest-to-chest connection with my partner and a strong seat belt. All right. Secondly, I've got my legs. So my legs keep my partner's lower half attached to my lower half. I've got different leg configurations, and we'll go into those in a second, but my legs keep me attached. So I have a seat belt preventing rotational control, an overhook arm, which starts giving me the ability to attack, and my legs, which keep me attached to his legs. Now, lastly, I have head position. Head position is really important. It's my third form of control, but opposite of my overhook arm, I want to be ear to ear, chin on his shoulder, nice head position, okay? A good backpack from here. So if I'm on my partner's side, okay, or if we're on our side and I'm on back, I've got head position, hooks, and a seat belt. Now, we have standard hooks, okay? With my standard hooks, I always want close connection around my partner. If I have open connection, it's easy for him to start stepping over and getting out of this position. So I want to be hook to hook here. Okay, I want to look to start controlling my partner's lower half. This, in my opinion, is one of the weaker forms of back control, but I do have really good ability to control my partner's rotation because I can start stretching my partner out with these hooks and I can start building tension in his back. All right. Now, my more favorite forms of control here is a long hook and a hip stomp, right? So this gives me a longer leg that goes across his hip, so it's more difficult to step over. With standard hooks, he can start building tension in his bottom knee, and he can start stepping over this leg. Go ahead. Yeah, he can start stepping over this leg and getting his hips to the mat. So whenever I add in, scoot your hips back for me a little bit. Like, yeah, there you go. Whenever I add a long hook, now it's very difficult for him to step over that leg. And I can start stomping on this hook and pinching my knee together with really good head position. And it gives me the ability to stay on my partner's back. And now lastly, our most dominant form of back control is the body triangle. So I can start coming in, locking into my own foot, and body triangling my partner. And I've got different ways to do this, but I start going into a body triangle, okay? And depending on the length of your legs, depends on what type of back control you usually do. If you have longer legs, you can start getting really good body triangles on your partner. If you've got shorter legs, you're usually going to struggle with that. Or if your partner is bigger, you're going to struggle with that, okay? So, three forms of connection on the back. I've got seat belt, I've got standard hooks, and then I've got head position. And then from my hooks, I've got standard hooks, a long hook, and a body stomp or a body triangle, okay? Now, from here, when I'm on my partner's back, okay, things that I want to make sure I'm focusing on. Head position is really important. Back can be pretty complicated in the fact that I'm asymmetrically attached to my partner's back. So right now, I'm on this underhook side. If you were to put us in a mirror, it would obviously not be symmetrical here, okay? So I want head position nice and tight because his way to escape is start getting his head to the floor. So as he starts getting his head to the floor, if my head is not in position, go ahead, he can start getting his shoulders out and he can start escaping this back control. All right, so my head being in position keeps his head from getting to the floor, so therefore it takes away one of his main ways to escape. All right, another big thing that we haven't talked about yet is crossing my feet. We've taught closed guard already. A lot of people intuitively will start crossing their feet because they think it's more secure. What he'll start doing is trapping my foot with his bottom. Go ahead, do bottom foot. He'll start trapping, crossing his feet here, and he'll start extending and breaking my foot because it's got a fulcrum underneath it to allow it to break. Okay, you could do top foot, but you could do either really. But I never want to cross my feet. I'll start getting my feet broken. So always heel to heel. But I can cross my feet if I'm off of his center line. Okay, because now he has no ability to start coming up and breaking my feet because he can't wrap his legs because it's not on his center line anymore. Okay, now overhook side. At this point, I don't have to worry about his head getting to the floor as much because my arm is blocking, but I still want good head position to prevent rotation. Okay, we'll get into attacking sequences into a later video on how to start attacking the back whenever I'm on my partner's back. But right now, just know when I'm on the underhook side, I need to have strong head position. Okay, that's the better side for me to attack because my attacking arm is free, so I have ability to move it. But it's a little bit easier for my partner to get out. Whereas if I'm on my overhook side where my partner is laying on my arm, my attacking arm is stuck, so I don't have as much ability to attack, but I have really good ability to control the position. Okay, so I'm making sure I'm focusing on 3 forms of connection: my seatbelt, my legs, and my head position. All right. Now, when someone's on my back, what do I need to do? So my partner's here on my back. He's got his forms of connection. My biggest thing is I have to defend the choke. Okay, if my hands are down and my chin is up, he's going to start locking up the choke here, and he's going to start submitting me. All right, so what I need to do is I need to start getting this choke away from my neck. I have a primary defensive hand and a secondary defensive hand, so take the support hand away. If I go to primary defensive hand on his choking arm, try to choke me here, he can't because it's locked in. However, if I put a secondary defensive hand on and no primary and choke me here, now he can start climbing and choking me out of this position. So I want a primary defensive hand controlling the arm. You can go back to your seatbelt. All right, primary defensive hand, secondary defensive hands, and I want tight elbows. Okay, I want a tight elbow on the support arm so he can't pull it out and start attacking with it without me knowing. Okay, if I'm here, he could always just remove that arm, go ahead and punch in a choke, and then I'm getting submitted. So I want tight elbows here, so if he starts pulling that arm out, I feel it, and I can start anticipating, I can start escaping because he has no rotational control anymore, but I want to be aware. Okay, so primary hand, secondary hand, and then I want chin position. Okay, there's ways to beat my defensive hands, so start like beating a hand for me. Boom. Now, if my chin is up, now he's right into a choke and I'm getting submitted. Okay, so let's lay down. So I've got a primary defensive hand, a secondary defensive hand, and I'm shrugging my shoulders, ducking my chin into my chest. So if he does beat my primary defensive hands, okay, he can't choke me as easily. All right. Now, once I've defended the choke, I'm looking to escape. I've got 2 ways to escape back control. I can do that by either escaping my lower half or I can escape my upper half. Okay, lower half is typically easier if my partner makes mistakes, but I can start looking to beat the bottom hook. All right, so we're not getting too detailed into this, but I can start beating my partner's bottom hook. Okay, getting my hips to the mat, and then I can start escaping. All right, now a big mistake a lot of people make here, once they've started escaping the back, okay, they start turning towards the head. Well, what that does is that gives my partner the ability to re-attack my back. Okay, so he can start coming up and pulling me to the other side. All right. What I want to do is as I've escaped the back, if possible, I want to get an elbow between us and I want to start turning towards his legs here. So I'll start pushing up onto my partner towards his legs. That way he can't re-attack my back or retake my back from there. It's not as intuitive. It's more intuitive to turn towards the head, but turning towards the legs keeps my back from being exposed again, and I can start getting out. Okay. Secondarily, I can start escaping my upper body. So my partner, let's say he's got like a long hook and a hip stomp, and we're not going to deal with body triangles yet. That's way more advanced. But if I can't escape my lower body, I just can't do that. I'm going to start looking to escape my upper body through a little bit more rotation and getting my shoulders to the mat. If my partner is being lazy and his head position is not there, I can just roll my head to the mat. I can start shimmying my shoulders out. And my goal with upper body escape should always be to get my elbow between my partner and I. Right now, Jordy still has my back because I have not created separation. So if I can get an elbow between him, now I can start looking to escape. All right, typically my partner will keep this leg over. He'll start looking to come up on top into a mount. Then I can start doing things where I pass legs, get to top position. Okay, a lot of different ways to escape. But right now, we just need to understand conceptually, I'm escaping the back by either getting my legs free or getting my upper body free. All right, we'll go back, sorry. If my partner's on overhook side, okay, does this mean that I only have one form of escape now? Okay, does that mean I can only escape my legs? No, I can still escape my upper body. Okay, if I can pass his arm to the other side, now I can start hitting that upper body escape and I can start getting out. Okay, so top position, my goal is to create control, okay, establish strong connection, and then start submitting my partner. I never really want to abandon the back to go somewhere else. It should be the strongest position in jiu-jitsu, okay? If someone is on my back, I'm looking to escape, and I do that by defending the choke so I don't get submitted, okay? And then I look to either escape my lower body or escape my upper body and get out of that.